Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I was just made aware of this by Ringside News, the sad news that wrestling legend Psycho Sid Vicious has passed away, and the link will be in the comments section down below. And it basically details the wrestling world is mourning the loss of a true icon. Gunnar Eudy, the son of legendary wrestler Psycho Sid Vicious, shared the heartbreaking news on Facebook that his father had passed away. And he basically states, I'm deeply saddened to share that my father has passed away after battling cancer for several years. He was a man of strength, kindness, and love, and his presence will be greatly missed. We appreciate your thoughts and prayers as we grieve the loss. Details for a memorial service will be aired soon. Thank you for your support. You know, I remember when I first came across Sid Vicious in WCW, the old WCW NWA days. You know, he was without a doubt a force of nature. He had everything. He had strength. He had intensity. He could cut savage promos. He could be very agile for a big man. And he was somebody that really could make you just invested into a match alone and did not need to be a champion. Like, he had that really amazing ability, and he was just a phenomenal presence, like one of the hardest workers I ever saw as a wrestling fan. And the guy was always good at what he did. Like, he always had people talking, whether a heel or a babyface run. And I remember when I saw this guy years ago, you know, he was somebody that you knew was going to be a big star one day. And he was someone who just massively rose to the top level of WCW and even WWE. I remember when his WWE run happened years ago, they called him Sid Justice. And, you know, he was brought in and they teased a feud between him and Hogan that happened at WrestleMania 8. And before that happened, you know, they had Sid Vicious or Sid Justice be a babyface, but of course they were only doing this to set up Hogan versus Justice down the road. And, you know, I really was kind of iffy about the heel turn because I always felt with Hogan leaving after WrestleMania 8 that they could have had Sid Justice be a babyface and he would beat Hogan at WrestleMania 8 and then Hogan would leave. And obviously that match is remembered as having a botch when Papa Shango came out of the ring, and the timing of like the Ultimate Warrior's entrance was just really nixed. And, you know, it was one of those many things to where WWE was really trying to give you this mega showdown, and it had some blunders in the match. And, you know, he wanted the Hulk Hogan deal after WrestleMania 8, and WWE would not give it to him. So he ended up leaving, went back to WCW. And he had that tag team with Vader, the Masters of the Power Bomb. Like, I remember their tag team very well. And this was back when tag team wrestling was really big in WCW. You know, you had all these tag teams that were just stacked in the division. And, you know, him and Vader were actually a great tag team. And, you know, again, with this whole thing with the big man being dominant, it was not surprising that, again, like another thing that he excels at, not just being a singles wrestler, but a tag team wrestler, that he still had that believable ability to really tell a story in the ring, whether he's facing a heel, whether he's facing, you know, a baby face, it really does not matter. And he goes over to WWE years later, and they had him actually be the bodyguard of Shawn Michaels. And of course, they ended up having him turn on Shawn Michaels when he was unsuccessful at beating Diesel at WrestleMania. And, you know, they had their feud. And that's when I think really laid the groundwork for, you know, as they would now call him, Psycho Sid. And it was off of this whole feud to where you knew that this is the breakout feud that really put him on the map. I mean, yeah, the one with Hogan did years ago, but this one with HBK was really at a point in time when WWE was not really doing so great. And, you know, they were losing to WCW, but you had, you know, Sid go out there and they adopted more of a crazy psychotic persona, and he got the name Psycho Sid, and they kind of gave him a theme song that really was kind of elements of the movie Psycho with Anthony Perkins that was made by Alfred Hitchcock. And it works so well. He would go on feuds with Diesel. He had a feud with Bret Hart. He had a feud with The Undertaker. I mean, the guy was without a doubt more believable in these feuds in terms of what they could do, in terms of the chemistry with opponents that he would always face. He always really blended in well with people of different styles, like whether it's The Undertaker, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. He even feuded with Vader in WWE, like everybody remembers their match they had. And, they obviously did a lot with Vader, or not Vader, Sid Vicious, or Psycho Sid, as he was called. And it was just, again, more building from WWE. And ironically, when they put the belt on him in 1996, a lot of people may not really remember that he was somebody that saw a double turn in this match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, or not WrestleMania, the Survivor Series, where there was actually a double turn in that match where Shawn Michaels was being booed out of the building and he was a babyface, and Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid, was a heel, and he blasted Jose Lothario off the apron and powerbombed Shawn Michaels and became WWE champion. That match is always going to be special because you actually see a double turn take place, and this was actually big because fans, they obviously were done cheering for Shawn Michaels, and they were actually getting tired of his title run, and they put the belt on him before making him lose the belt to Shawn Michaels at the Royal Rumble 1997. Give or take, I mean, again, it was just really an awesome thing for him to be WWE champion. And, this guy would just go on and be a phenomenal presence in wrestling. And no matter if it was WCW or WWE, I'm really grateful for the work that he put in the ring, and he will be definitely missed. And one of the greatest big men of all time, and who had it all. He had intensity. He had strength. He was somebody that really could tell a story separate from other big men who actually didn't have the ability that he had. I mean, very few did. I think the only other ones that were actually in wrestling that could match him in terms of the same kind of abilities he had was The Undertaker and Kevin Nash. Just these big guys that actually have some agility to them, and they're all known for power. But Sid could really wrestle on the mat. He could do all kinds of things with anyone of any kind of stature, and truly one of the greatest big men in wrestling that we lost here today. And my heart goes out to his family. I really think this is sad news. And I would love to hear from you guys. What was your favorite Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid moment? Tell me in the comments section down below. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and take care.